Hello, everybody, and welcome to Money Matters. If you like to make money, enjoy learning about crypto and other investing topics, please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content, then hit that like button as well. Let's get started. As usual, this channel is devoted to your financial freedom. And as a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, nor do I give investment advice. If you need such advice, please seek the help of a professional. Let's take a look at the market. Boring, very, very boring. Not in a good boring as boring where it really high prices and everything's honky-dory staying the same. Boring that we still have yet to start spiking up and seeing retracement back to the all-time highs that we're looking for. We're still kind of meandering back and forth. The only bright spot again is Ethereum. It is holding strong. We've got another video coming up in the next week or so talking about some additional information based on the future of Ethereum and how bright that future does look. I do think that tomorrow morning, we should see some news come out or some market action that starts to drive the price of Bitcoin back up. We're going to talk about that just a little bit later in the video. And I'd like to see if you agree. Just drop a comment below and let me know what you think about what we're talking about and if you agree with what my predictions are. All right, let's talk about the news. The state of Louisiana, I included this because this is an interesting, not premiere, because it's certainly not the first state to do something like this. But I found that it was very interesting. The way they chose to announce their support for Bitcoin. I'm going to read this because it's kind of cool. To commend Bitcoin for its success in becoming the first decentralized trillion-dollar asset, which unfortunately it is not right now, but soon will be, back to being $1 trillion. And to encourage state and local governments to consider ways that could help them benefit from the increased use of this new technology. Now, I think this is a great indication of things to come. And I know that I think it was Miami-Dade kind of led the way, or the city of Miami led the way with crypto adoption. I think they were saying they would pretty much mint Bitcoin there if they were given the opportunity. So kudos to them. But we will see more states embrace Bitcoin. And of course, the underlying blockchain technology that goes along with it, because we won't be able to function correctly in the future, or at least competitively in the future, if we don't succumb to that. And imagine, if you will, some of the things that cities and municipalities could do or could use blockchain technology for. Real estate titles, automobile titles. They have a lot of documentation on their citizens and legal type things at City Hall that could all be moved to the blockchain and all stabilized and guaranteed to be accurate. So is it the future? Absolutely. When's it coming? It's here now, and it should start moving forward faster and faster. After 2.0 or Cardano or Polkadot get their smart contracts going in a big way, we will see a much higher level of adoption. I think a lot of companies are going to start pushing this in the underlying currents as well, trying to understand how these different projects that are coming out of DeFi and other areas of the crypto market can help businesses and municipalities and cities, governments function at a higher level. So more to come on this. It's very exciting news. So I'm happy to see it happening. Plan B. For those of you who have never heard of Plan B, it is an individual who chooses to keep their identity on the lowdown. But they're very well known, or this person is very well known within the crypto community for coming up with the stock to flow model. And this model can be applied in a lot of different ways to a lot of different things. But for practical purposes of what we're speaking here, it's defined as a model essentially showing Bitcoin's price along an upward path in tandem with its halvings and increased scarcity. So what that means is this chart basically looks at what Bitcoin does, or what the price of Bitcoin does after each halving and how it performs. That's as simple as that, really. There's a lot of calculations that go into it, but all in all, that's exactly what it is. So of course, after each halving, the reward for mining a block drops. It's put in half, in fact. And with each passing year that goes by, there are less and less Bitcoin that can be mined. In fact, it's my understanding, and I think I'm pretty correct on this one, by 2035, we will have mined approximately 98 or 99% of all Bitcoin that will ever be in existence, which is very, very interesting if you think about it. So what that means is the less Bitcoin that's available, along with the demand that's available, it becomes a very scarce asset. So the price goes up astronomically or accordingly. So when we look at what this means in the upcoming slide, it's kind of telling. So Plan B tweeted this chart that I'm getting ready to show you. I think it was yesterday. And what he or she was trying to do was to show you that there's no reason to panic here. There's nothing abnormal going on here at all. There's no foul play. There's no conspiracy theory, nothing like that at all. And just to sit back and relax. And I've been preaching that as well. So let's take a look at this slide and you tell me what you think. So here's a chart. And what this chart is showing you is Bitcoin after the 2012, 2016, and 2020 halving. So the dark blue line is the 2016, the light blue line is 2012, and the red line, which is obviously not completed yet because that's what we're in right now, is 2020. So the little tan circle is highlighted so that you can see where we are right now in 2020 in comparison to where these other two market cycles were at this particular point in time. And there's something very interesting on this chart. If you look at the little red leg down, meaning we've had a drop in about 20% price, each one of the other cycles had a drop almost the same time. Now, the length of the actual graph is not important because the impact is different depending upon the time frame. So it may have been that 2012 at that particular point in time, it was a 30% drop or a 60% drop. But regardless, it was a drop nonetheless. The cool thing to look at here, and I noted it on the chart as well, this chart indicates that we are just about to see the price of Bitcoin take off. Why? Well, historically speaking, anyway, the other two halving events, or after the other two halving events, right after the drop leg down, they shot up in price. That makes me happy. I don't know about you, but if history is any indication of what's about to happen, we should be coming out of this doldrums of lower pricing Bitcoin and really hitting it hard to the upside. Very, very, very exciting times. And you can use this in conjunction with other charts and other information that are available, as I do, to try to coincide or at least validate some of these points that are being made. You can look at this chart saying, wow, this is saying that, yeah, it's getting ready to go up. And then you can say, and I know that when Bitcoin goes into a retracement after a big drop in a bull run, that altcoins take off. Hey, I was just looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart and I saw that Bitcoin dip below the 50% line to 49% momentarily. Well, that's a trigger for alt season as well. So you can kind of see how the stars are lining up. Everything's looking good. All right, let's do a recap. This is a shorter video tonight in light of the exhaustive long video that I did last night. So I wanted to give you all a break. But let's talk about what we've just gone over. The entire market is a very boring, dull space right now. Unfortunately, it's in red land, but I think that this week we should start seeing a turnaround. Tomorrow, there's going to be some events in the market, the crypto market, that should help spark the turnaround for Bitcoin. And we'll see. But I think that over the course of this week, we should have a brighter April. Hopefully, because April's supposed to be a great month for Bitcoin. This so far has been a terrible month. Well, you can say terrible in a relative term because in all actuality, since March 1st, we're still way up. We're still in the money. So unless you bought at 60,000 or 58, which still I'm not, that's great. Why? It's going higher than that. So you're in. That's great. And don't panic. We should see it take off and everybody should take a sigh of relief and then they can start cheering again. Louisiana is growing, adding to the growing number of states that have started to adopt Bitcoin, or at least indicate that they're open to do so. We will see many more cities and municipalities taking on Bitcoin and crypto in general. They could use Bitcoin for a police pension fund or something like that. Who knows? But the underlying technology of blockchain is coming, and it will make an incredible impact in government. And we'll see that almost immediately. It's happening now. We took a look at Plan B, which is an individual, and we looked at the stock to flow model, which is extremely interesting. It showed us that we still have hope for the future, that all is not lost, that if history is any indication of what's going to be happening, we should be very, very excited. In fact, you should probably go to bed early tonight so you can get lots of sleep and be rested for the activities of the week. I would really like to hear what you think about Bitcoin specifically for this week. Do a little bit of research. Tell me what you find and where you find it and what led to your opinion. But I would really like to know where you think Bitcoin will be by this time next week, next Saturday. So let's just say, for practical sake of argument, that we're right around $50,000 today. I'd like to hear where you think we will be within 1 week from now. Is it 55? Is it 57? Are we going to break through that $60,000 ceiling and get support back up above that and then go parabolic from there? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them, and we can share them and then see who's right. Scammers, they're out there. They want your money. They're ever vigilant. They'll do anything and everything to get it. So protect yourself and be aware at all times. And finally, winners never quit, and quitters never win. Always give your very best effort to overcome the challenges that you face in life. I hope you had a great day. I had a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.